The Australian curriculum is a set of statements which describe knowledge and skills to be learned by Australian students. ACARA says you need to focus on the content descriptions and achievement standards. But if I had the authority to interpret and implement the curriculum, I would focus on the content descriptions and also look at the elaborations to plan my lessons and assessments. However, I'm going to highlight a few issues with the way these content descriptions are written. So the first issue is equivocal descriptions of content. Mazzano says equivocal descriptions of content is when a single content description bundles multiple distinct knowledge and skills together into one statement. A teacher cannot tell which statement is the focus. This makes it difficult to judge whether a student has met the full standard or just part of it. Although not all statements in the Australian curriculum have this problem, let's consider the Year 7 English content description. So this is the content descriptions. Use interaction skills when discussing and presenting ideas and information, including evaluation of the features of spoken texts. So this single descriptor is doing several things at once. Using interaction skills, discussing ideas, presenting information, and evaluating the features of spoken text. Each of these could reasonably be a learning intention in its own right. The descriptor gives the teacher very little guidance about where to focus, what to teach explicitly, or what meeting the standard actually looks like. The solution to this is to break these descriptions down into atomic chunks of knowledge so that each subdescription is saying only one thing. Okay, the next issue is priority. ACARA has said that some content descriptions are so fundamental and critical that they should be revisited and retaught multiple times, and that not all the content descriptions require equal time, and the time will vary according to the student's needs. However, the curriculum document does not indicate which knowledge or skills are fundamental, and this is left to the professional judgment of teachers. And without any guidance on what to prioritize, decisions about depth and emphasis are made inconsistently, varying from teacher to teacher and school to school. A solution to this might be to give each chunk of knowledge a priority rating that indicates how valuable it is to learn. As some students will not be able to learn everything in the curriculum, at least they'll be learning the most important content first. All right, the next issue is categorization. And this is the last one I'll be talking about. And to say that there is no categorization of the content descriptions by their knowledge type. So Mazzano distinguishes between two fundamental types of knowledge, declarative and procedural. So declarative knowledge is knowing that something is true, so facts, concepts, generalizations. Procedural knowledge is knowing how to do something, so skills, strategies, processes. And these two types of knowledge are taught differently, practiced differently, and assessed differently. And the Australian curriculum has no such distinction. Content descriptions are written without any indication of whether the knowledge involved is declarative or procedural. A teacher reading a content description must infer what kind of knowledge is involved and then decide how to teach and assess it accordingly. These matter because the wrong approach leads to poorer outcomes. So teaching a procedural skill as if it were declarative knowledge, for example, asking students to recall steps rather than practice them, does not produce the fluency that procedural knowledge requires. Okay, so in summary, I've identified three different issues about the Australian curriculum content descriptions. So equivocal descriptions, that is saying many things in one statement, not indicating knowledge by its priority, some knowledge is more valuable than others, and not categorizing knowledge into declarative and procedural.